Yo, this is the Scarcity Studios YouTube channel. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. And our sponsors are Alpha Claims and Hire Birmingham, the leading and best accident management company. Get a replacement car anywhere in 1 hour. I really appreciate you joining me today and I hope everyone's okay. We've got several stories and episodes coming up, including London street news, and this episode includes Birmingham and Manchester. There's been a lot of cannabis seizures before the new year and just after. And before we speak about the most recent one in Birmingham, we're first going to go to Manchester. On the 18th of December, just before Christmas, two men were arrested after police discovered a massive cannabis farm that they estimated was worth £100,000. It was found in Tameside, and police raided the property in Duncanfield on Friday the 18th of December as part of an ongoing investigation into the supply of drugs. Officers found an industrial scale cannabis farm covering 2 stories of the property. Pictures released by the police show hundreds of plants and sophisticated cultivation setup inside the address. A scene remains in place at the property as police conduct their inquiries. Early estimates of the drugs estimated it was over £100,000. Two men, 27 and 22, were being held in custody and are due to be questioned by police on suspicion of the production of Class B drugs. Greater Manchester Police said the arrests were part of a proactive operation into the supply of drugs in the local area, and investigators urged members of the public to contact them in relation to anything they find suspicious. So they've made 2 arrests with that story, and we'll definitely let you know if there's any other updates or anyone gets convicted. And more locally, in the West Midlands area, a cannabis factory was found at the end of November that was worth £40,000. That would estimate 40 plants in the Lichfield area. Police cut through a door with a chainsaw in an early morning raid in the Street Hay area on Tuesday, November the 24th. A 34-year-old man was arrested and a 40-year-old man from Tamworth was also arrested. Both men were released under investigation. Spokesman said they found 40 grand's worth of plants in the loft of the property and it could be smelled from outside in the street. And in Birmingham on the 28th of December, police seized 1,000 cannabis plants in the Ladywood area after a gang tried to break into the building. A massive cannabis factory was discovered in the industrial unit in Birmingham, and police say they saw people trying to enter on Eyre Street in Ladywood on Monday the 28th of December. Officers approached and the group fled in 2 cars. Around 1,000 plants were found inside, and the police discovered weapons and more plants and a car nearby. The police released images from the scene showing the rows and rows of plants. A spokesman for the force says there was 1,000 plants seized in this factory, and officers came across the patrol coincidentally when they seen men breaking in. And then most recently today, police arrested 5 Albanian males and seized 2 handguns after a raid in the Birmingham area. One was found hiding under a bed, and officers executed the warrant in Jockey Road, Sutton Coldfield at around 3 p.m, following community concerns about the address being used as a drug factory. They found several large bags of cannabis that were valued up to £115,000 and 2 active firearms. Police said they suspected the guns were blank firers that were illegally converted to fire live rounds. They will be examined by ballistics experts to determine if they were used in any other shootings. 4 men were arrested at the scene and a 5th was detained after being found under the bed. They were aged 28 to 39 and arrested on suspicion of cannabis cultivation and gun possession and remain in police custody. Detective Inspector Francis Knox said this is a significant discovery of a crop of drugs and 2 handguns that were viable weapons. The warrant was conducted by neighbourhood officers on the back of information supplied by members of the public. So there's been a lot of seizures in the north of England and also the West Midlands. And down in London on the 30th of December, officers from the South East Basic Command Unit Violence Suppression Team discovered a large cannabis factory in an industrial unit in South East London. The factory is a 32,000 square foot commercial premise and it was found on Wednesday the 30th of December. They obtained a warrant to gain entry and searched the site in Eastmoor Street in Charlton after receiving intelligence that the factory was being operated there. Officers enlisted the National Police Air Ambulance helicopter to carry out reconnaissance on the site, and the majority of the plants at the site were full size and ready to be harvested before sale. 5 men were arrested at the scene on suspicion of cultivation of cannabis and remain in police custody. They said this was a significant production site with hundreds of plants producing a controlled drug that was intended for sale on London streets and to line the pockets of criminals. They said it's a fire hazard and it's important to identify these sites and make them secure. They also blame drugs as the root cause of violence in the capital city, and the seizures play a massive part, they suggest, in reducing violent crime. So as you can see in the UK, it's getting more and more common that they're trying to do these industrial size farms, which is replicants of what is going on in Spain. As people know, we cover a lot of Spanish and European news, and a recent story from there in relation to cannabis seizures was that the National Police found a plantation. They've upgraded now from cannabis farms to plantations. They found 61,000 marijuana plants at a warehouse in Roca de Val, just outside of Barcelona. 8 people were arrested in the operation, including 3 members of the same family. The warehouse had an advanced ventilation system and soundproofing, and it was estimated to be worth 130,000 units just for the setup. The police say the rig was designed to keep the plantation free from scrutiny in the small Spanish village. The warehouse featured a nursery as well to make smaller plants that would then go on to become bigger ones. Police believe, as well as providing cuttings for other groups as well. 8 people, all Spanish, were arrested in the raid that was executed on the 30th of December. The investigation began in November following anonymous tips from the members of the public that lived in the local area. They then inquired with the electricity company and noticed that it was a massive supply of electric being used at the property. Police, acting on a warrant, raided the 2-storey warehouse and revealed what they described as a highly organised specialist facility with temperature-controlled zoning to ensure optimal output. 2 rooms on the ground floor were dedicated to growing the bigger plants, and the upper floor featured the smaller cuttings. And another section was dedicated to the storage of tools. They believe a lot of these plants would have been flown around the world to different cities and also the UK. So like I said, people are trying to replicate what they're seeing in big countries in Spain and Amsterdam, and it's getting more and more common in the UK. So I'd really want to hear what people's opinions are on these stories. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe, and turn on your bell for notifications. There's plenty more news on the way. Peace.